Good news after so many concerns about AI bubble out there right now. What really jumps out at you from this report?
They're actually delivering on sales, and those sales are translating into bottom line profits. So for all of the concern about an overhyped market, meaning that prices were getting well ahead of fundamentals, of earnings, of real growth, and perhaps that couldn't be supported by those fundamentals, Nvidia came out with a report today and said, yes, we can. We are supporting them. So $1.30 a share versus $1.25 estimate, $57 billion in revenues versus $54.9 billion estimate. You now have this company at a $4.5 trillion market cap, and they raised expectations and guidance to $65 billion versus $61.6 billion. Net income for the quarter up 65%.
Yeah.
So we recently got earnings from Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, and Google. And through those reports, we were able to get a glimpse of what they planned on spending for CapEx, capital expenditures, on AI. They all raised their forecasts for capital expenditures, and combined, just those companies are looking to spend $380 billion this year.
Yeah,
so,
I also want to throw in one other item too,
this
because
company that's on a tear continues on a tear.
Yeah, I saw one more thing that I read in the after hours report. The CEO also talking about where it would be if they were able to sell their best, their highest product chips to China. They are able to sell the H2O chips, but just think of what its earnings would be if it was able to do that. It really shows what a powerhouse this company is.
There's no question. In October, Huang said that they had $500 billion in 2025, 2026 chip orders. You free up an economy the size of China to come in and continue to buy those chips. Those forecasts and those share prices will go significantly higher.
You know, let's get back to what Wall Street has been saying and about the concern that things could be overcooked in AI right now, overvalued. Investors are clearly worried. What is this information going to do to perhaps make investors or the industry feel a bit better? Will that happen moving forward?
Certainly, there's going to be a short-term bit of a sugar high here. We're seeing shares up over $9 in the after-hours market. That's a 5% gain for Nvidia. And, you know, Sean, we didn't see market caps like this when I started in this business almost 40 years ago. And to see a $4.5 trillion market cap and think that that market cap increased 5%. These are outrageously huge numbers. So I think Wall Street has been concerned because the Mag 7 have been driving the market, the Googles, the Metas, Amazon, Microsoft, all of them been driving gains in the marketplace, and stocks have been doing really well. They seem to be, consensus is they've got to be due for a pullback. They're not pulling back. And it's a tale of two markets, with these huge 7 stocks making up well more than 30% of the S&P 500, and the other 493 stocks not doing so well.
Yeah.
In fact, the equal weighted S&P 500 versus the cap weighted index is up about half, around 6.5 to 7% so far this year.
For those people,
it's a tale of two markets.
Yeah, it really is. And for those people who want some more good news, Wang also said that right now GPU use is basically overwhelmed, and so there's a lot of room for growth there. And as you mentioned earlier, Microsoft and others out there investing heavily in this area. What do you think that is going to mean going forward? Is this more upend to, as you said, who knows where?
But so the concern is, with all of this extra investment in, you know, these foundational AI chips, this $380 billion that I mentioned is committed from these 4 companies, most of which will go to Nvidia. Are they spending too much in anticipation of a great AI return that never materializes? They're all looking for productivity and enhanced productivity and great gains that will happen faster, that will all flow at some point to the bottom line. Are they spending so much money that they can't really get a reasonable return? Time will tell, but that's Wall Street's concern right now. And yet, for a company like Nvidia, who's receiving all of that cash and selling all of those chips, it's hard to paint too cloudy a story.
Yeah, but to offer a little sobering information, if we remember back about a month, companies that use AI, there was this big report out that said very few of them are making any money now. Couple that with the fact that Elon Musk just announced his company, XAI, and Saudi AI company Humane are going to partner up with Nvidia on a 500 megawatt data center project in Saudi Arabia. I think, as you said, we still have this massive growth, but is the demand there?
Is the demand there? And will it develop? I mean, every one of these companies is doing really pretty well. The four that I mentioned, with leading with Microsoft, Google, I mean, they're all doing really well. Will they deliver over time? And they've got to show a return on this cash that they're spending. Data center business is very important. That's a key metric for Nvidia.
Right.
$51.2 billion in data center sales. That's up 66% year over year. Remarkable.